All right, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. Call hello, Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba Hashem, Rakah Quadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. And Shalom, salute to the hopefully elect. So I got a video that I want to play. I got it from Hustlers in the Hood. That's the channel. I'm probably sure that brothers are familiar with this channel. This channel has a lot of it plays a lot of shorts, YouTube shorts from other websites and things like that. Um, Documents on day to day living. I want to play this video because some of some of our people, because this is an Israelite right here, of course. Some of our people don't particularly really still don't really know what's going on, and uh, um I'm not saying he might know, but he still probably, because you'd be surprised, being that a lot of all this information is out here, is access to the internet. A lot of truth has come out, us being our true nationality. And before I even came into truth, I knew about the system, as far as the elite and them controlling us. We are debt slaves. Your social security number is nothing but a slave number and things like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the video, and then I'm gonna have some more commentary on what this brother says, because a lot of us feel that way, even after we come into this truth. It's not a thing where as though when you find out the truth, it's amazing. It's I can't explain the feel. It's one of the greatest feelings you ever feel. Um, coming into this knowledge, but along with that, it does get bitter. Because you understand what's that. Surely oppression make it for wise man mad. You start to see things for what it really is. That they can't pull that curtain over you. So that will make a person bitter if you know what's going on. Just like the Matrix. Um, you had the red pill and you had the blue pill, and some people just satisfied with the blue pill. Like, don't spoil my fun. Just let me go on and live my life. And a lot of jakes are in that mode, especially the ones that's doing good. Because I got another video, or I got some clips that I want to show that these jakes they ain't complaining, because they living good in Babylon, you know. But this guy right here, a lot of times the Lord had to put us in a predicament for us to kind of get our attention. Not saying that the Lord need us or anything, but he does things the way he does it. And that's one of the ways that he does things. The Lord work in mysterious ways. The Lord is tricky. Um, so the Lord, you might be in a depressive state in order to get you to wake up. And that's just how he does. I mean, some brothers, they came in. I'm not saying all brothers was dirt poor and you was out of luck and all that. Because we actually got some people um that was in the leagues. And some brothers, they were well off. Some brothers are well off. Some brothers come in not financially stable. And we're in America. You who is financially stable. But I understand some brothers, you can have a little bit, to get you by and things like that. Hey, there's nothing wrong with having money. Money is a defense. We get up and go to work every day. Some brothers laid off, some brothers got careers. We still gotta eat. We still gotta put food on the table. We still gotta pay the bills. We still gotta have a roof over our head. So until this society uh, is up and running, we still got to do what we have to do, you know, and we got to work. Some brothers might have to take certain careers, but as long as it doesn't affect the truth, you know. But let's go ahead and play this video, and I got some scriptures after that.
Hey, no time for myself, really. Little time I do got. This is a powerful and heartbreaking message from the front lines of the grind, and it's for every single person who feels like they're working just to survive. Hell, I can barely keep my shoes off and get comfortable. Then I'm back in the bed because I gotta get up in the morning and go do the same thing all over again. This ain't life. We're really slaves. We're just getting paid for it. I gotta start working for myself. I gotta figure this out, man. People shouldn't be working unless they just want to work. I remember growing up like, man, I need to give me a job, man. I need at least $10 an hour. Now I'm making over $20 an hour, and I still feel like I'm struggling. At times, it should not be that way. We're accepting BS, man. People think this is the way life should be.
And I'm gonna say, this brother, he might be in a state like a southern state where the cost of living ain't as much, but really, I'm gonna say $10 an hour 20 years ago was decent, but you were just getting by. Now, $20 an hour 20 years ago, you were making good money. You could, if you was making $20 or 22, even 25, close to $30 an hour 20 years ago, you had electricians and plumbers, and if you was making that money 20 years ago, you was able to, buy a house. That was good money. You wasn't just getting by, you were kind of doing pretty well. Now, fast forward to 2020, the 2020s and 2023, 25, this economy, $20 is like nothing, like $10 an hour, maybe even less than that, just based off of the cost of living and your everyday things you got to get, and certain places things are a little cheaper, but it's like certain parts of, like, for instance, if you live in New York, the cost of living is real high. If you live in Los Angeles, the cost of living is real high. I'm in Baltimore, Maryland, right? The average, you don't have to go by the, what you call it, the country, the average house and all that. You can actually find deals if you live in this state. But the average, you can find, I'm gonna say the average house is around what, $250,000. You can find something lower than that, and that's decent. But pretty much the houses had doubled since the last 10 years. So the real estate market is out of this world, right? Cars tripled. A 10-year a car that's 10 years old, they get a lot of them. They want $20,000 for it. Used to be able to buy a brand new car for 20, depending on the brand and everything. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. Let's finish.
And this ain't the way life should be, man. This ain't no freedom. That being said, man, life is what you make it. So you better make some of it, or else you're gonna be a slave for the rest of your life until you're just too old to work, and then you're gone. Have you ever felt this level of burnout and
All right, so let's analyze what he said. He said you're gonna be a slave until you're gonna be a slave for life. Well, technically, we're going to be slaves until Yahweh Shah come back. All right, just to be straight up, because I in the comments, let me see. Let me read one of these comments. It said this Daniel Solis. It says, I'm gonna read it. It says, that's why I quit my job. I'm trying to start my own business. So I pray that it works out for me. And some brothers do have their own business, and that's a good um, analyst. That's a good way to go about it if you want a little bit more. But guess what? Even if you do start your own business, I read this comment and I said, hey, I got to do a video on it because even if you do start your own business, you still working for the elite. There's no way around it. You can't get around it. I remember my father, he was telling me some years back. This was over 20 years ago. He passed, he had passed, but this is like when I first got out of high school and I was into multi-level marketing and, trying to start my own business. I was into a whole bunch of things, just trying to make it work. And he was telling me, he said, son, he was like, and that stuck with me. And certain things throughout my life, it wounded me up to go in the truth. But just certain things just stuck with me. He said, in this society, you only could go but so far. And I never really understood. I'm like, I'm not, I'm like, okay, Pops, all right. But now I see what he's saying, what he meant by that, And that's true. I mean, I understand that, hey, I want to put the information out there. Like you got to walk around with a cloud over your head, a dark cloud over your head. No, that's not what I'm saying. But you have to know what's going on, These people are at the top because the Heavenly Father put them there, When you go to these churches, they're nothing more than prosperity preachers. I don't know if you brothers ever went to like a seminar. You got the Amway, you got some of these companies, multi-level marketing companies, real estate seminars. They talk a good game, but only the few people at the top is actually making the money, while everybody else is like mediocre. They probably be making. You got levels. You got people at the top. They making like millions. Then you got some people that's probably in a upper $100,000. Then you got the people that's like at the lower $100,000. Then you got people that's just making just about close to $100,000 a year. Then you got the people that's making $30,000 a year, and there's more of them than anything. Then what makes up the majority of the crowd, the people that's making either nothing or a little bit of money, just barely getting by. And that's the majority of the people. And that's what keep these places going up and running, But and that's how the actual system works anyway. These elites, it's a pyramid, But guess what? Ultimately, guess who set it up? Let's go to the scriptures. All right, this is Deuteronomy, a famous scripture. You brothers probably should already know, But and I'm not making this video to discourage anyone. If you can make a decent living, so I don't want any brothers having a dark cloud over your head or anything like that. We like again, we have to get our daily bread, But it's also if you see that it's a career that you because right now everything is sky high, If you see that it's a career that you can get into and it don't interfere with your study and your the truth. If it doesn't interfere with the truth, then it's all gravy, Go ahead, because we got the brothers. Sometimes brothers always in need, That could, you working can help the ministry out. Again, we have to pay our tithes. That costs money. So money is important. We got to pay our tithes every month. Where you going to get that if you ain't working? We got to pay car note, car insurance, gas and electric, rent or mortgage. What else? Water bill. All that costs money. That's bills. You get, so it wouldn't hurt if you get something that's decent, because eventually the society is going to crash, so you got to have enough faith to say, hey, I'm gonna do this and do that in the meantime. But when they come at us with this charagma, I'm gonna say no. Because all this stuff we had to give it up anyway. It's temporary, all this stuff is temporary. So you had to learn how to be on the edge and don't get no attachment to things. That's what I would say. Don't look at it like, because hey, if you part of the elect, you're an Israelite anyway, so we got the kingdom, But if you part of the elect, you're gonna inherit the Lord, Yahweh Shai say he gonna give you 100-fold, But you got to look at things as temporary, just on the side, So if you happen to get a decent job, that's good. Hey, the Lord bless you with it, in the meantime, But don't look at it like, just look at it like it can go anytime. If you happen to be able to get a house or apartment, hey, the Heavenly Father gave you a gift, gave you a blessing. But don't look at it as forever. Look at it as temporary, because everything in the society is temporary. I'm butchering the word. I guess that's our accent. Temporary. You brothers know. But yeah. So this is Deuteronomy 28:15. It says, "But it shall come to pass that if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, of thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and the statutes which I commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come up upon thee and overtake thee." And then all the curses, of course, is in here. And I like to go to verse 48, where it says, "Thou shalt serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things." So that's everything. From the clothes industry. I heard one time Kanye said, "We can't. The small hats, they own everything." Well, yeah. The earth, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So the Most High allowed these devils to control every industry in this world. They control everything from clothes to the ports. They control it going in and going out. All right. They control the clothes. They control the food. They control the water. They might start charging for air. The way they messing up the air, all these damn chemtrails, But yeah, it says in one of all things. So he broke it down right here, and then he said in one of all things, And it says, "And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee." And our people were destroyed. So I feel it, brother. I understand where you're coming from. I was feeling that way early 2000s. I got introduced to a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. And that kind of opened my mind up to see who's running things and see how things are running. But ultimately, I was led to the truth. And that sealed the deal. That sealed it right there. The Lord will lead you. I was searching. And I found out what's really going on. Because, yeah, he gave these devils the earth. Let's go to Proverbs. One of my favorite scriptures, 29 and 7, right? This is Proverbs 29 and 7. It says, no, that's a good one too. It says, the righteous consider the cause of the poor, but the wicked regardeth not to know it. Yeah, that's a good one. But I want Proverbs 29. It's the one where if the righteous are under authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Hold on. Yeah, Proverbs 29 and 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. And if you go back to the video, that's the brother was mourning, man. He was like, man, I can't get nowhere. He feel like a slave. And that's what he is. We're not in hardcore slavery like we were prior to the years in America, but we wage slaves. It feels like you, whatever job you is, you feel like you can't get nowhere. The bills, it's set up that way. It's set up for you not to get ahead. And the Lord said that he was going to do that in Deuteronomy. Yeah, we got to keep on doing what we got to do until the Lord come back, you know. But in the meantime, if you want to start a business or whatever, things like that, there's nothing wrong with it. But you got to understand, these people are still in power. There's no way around it. It's no way around getting over this white man, you know. That's just the only way. You see what I mean? No other way. Countless people. Let me pull up these clips. So you got for instance, like these Jakes, they'll sell out to Satan or sell out to the small hats, and then they'll have to do some a lot of the people that don't want to get a 9 to 5, they'll take the easy route and get plunged, you know, and buy one of these small hats, and then they might get a record deal, or, you know, they taking the easy way out. You know what I mean? But you still got to go through these people. The Most High picked these people. And I read this guy's story, Michael Rubin. They always got the story where as though these small hats run everything. And when I found out they're a small hat, I'm like, oh yeah, he was given the he was given the ball to run. Because they'll have a story like, oh, he started, make it seem like he went from rags to riches, when all these devils, they're already set up, you know. They're set up to win. They'll say he started a internet. He borrowed $5,000-$10,000 from his father. Well, who got if you poor, who got $5,000-$10,000 just sitting around? Dad, can I borrow? Only rich people can do that, you know. But that'll be in the story like, oh, he borrowed $100,000 from he was poor, struggling in his college dorm, and he came up with this idea, the internet, and created an internet business and borrowed $100,000 from his father out of the penny bank. Come on now. Okay, so y'all poor, but you got $100,000 sitting around to let your son borrow it, right? If you poor, we all been there. We all grew up with parents, and ain't nobody got no $100,000 to lend anybody, especially if you living under the poverty rate. So these people, we already know how to get down. But we on to you, Jakes, too, because let me play another clip.
Selling your soul in Hollywood, is that a real thing? Oh, yeah. Because this is the agenda we want to push. This is what we want to make black men look like. This is what we want the picture of. So here, you got your money. Now go do it. That's selling your soul. You don't have a soul. It means you don't have a say. You just do what they tell you to do.
Is there something that, you wouldn't do, for
I definitely haven't ran into to put on the dress. I mean, you have to have boundaries.
From the looks of it, the new pope is not Turkson. The new pope is 9-year-old Oscar nominee Quvenzhané Wallis.
You've always known something was off. When rappers suddenly explode overnight. When comedians who swore they'd never compromise appear in dresses. When artists die young after reaching their peak. Omar Gooding Jr., Hollywood insider for 3 decades, just broke the industry's biggest secret. Soul selling isn't metaphorical. It's methodical. Complete with...
Yeah, so there you go. It's a lot of information on this and what these guys got to do to get on, Let me find something.
There's a theory that a lot of rappers they get signed, especially nowadays. These labels, they crunch the numbers. They figure out what works, what brings them money, what doesn't. Rappers getting locked up and rappers dying on 2 of the biggest promotions as far as money makers for labels. Now, I've spoken to a lot of independent artists. Shout out to Source Walker. One of the things that he told me when I said, Jay been trying to sign me. I'm like, why wouldn't you sign? He said, because I don't want a label playing with my life. Facts. That's real.
That means playing with, because I'm going to expose, that means playing with your butt. You know what I mean? No, listen, because... No.
Wait, what? What? Hey, cousin. Wait, what? Play with... What the hell is this? Hey, son. Hey, all right, I'm not even going. Let's just... What? Play with the booty hole, son? With the butt... Oh, man, this is...
Because... No, I mean, look, because I've been doing this... No, because I feel like we gotta put it out there. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of... No, listen. You edit it out. Listen, you edit it out. No, listen, because I feel like...
That's not what he meant, by the way. But go ahead.
No, listen. I'm not saying what he meant. I'm just saying in general because I feel like a lot of people, like, I had like 2 record deals, right? And
They wanted your butt?
yeah.
Wait. Hold on.
He said,
Hold on.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, what happened?
You was fucking with G-Unit.
look, he ain't smoked nothing, bro.
Hold on. You ain't blink.
Jesus, okay. I'm sitting back.
Like,
What G-Unit wanted your butt, bro?
Listen, hold on. Look.
What's his name?
So look, let me be clear, right? Nah, because it's not even funny. I'm keeping it real, right? It's not even funny now. I'm not a homosexual.
Well, I'm sorry, bro. If it had to be anybody that wanted his butt, it had to be Tony.